The NFC North, the thing that we did yesterday for the NFC West. Let's agree or not on how the four teams are going to finish from fourth to first. Chris, I'll ask you to give me your fourth place team in the NFC North.
My fourth place team here, I think I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. I could see 2, 3, and 4 being very close and actual win-loss there, where it's very jumbled up. I think we all know who's going to be number one, but I will go with the Bears. First off, Chicago, as we've discussed a lot, I don't know if there's a ton of big-time blue-chip players on either side of the ball. I really like what Justin Fields looks like. I mean, he is really great decisions, great throws, unreal athlete. I was even a little, critical of these two throws right here, but man, he made a lot of other great throws throughout the preseason where, I evaluate it for what it is. I'm backing off that for sure. He's looked damn good. But I look at it and go, to me, the schedule, as we always talk about, the first two games, they're not going to be the better team on the field. They're not going to be better than San Francisco and Green Bay. They're going to be 0-2, or at least I think they will be. Now, what can they do in that 3, 4, 5 period there, even 6? Can they come out of that and win a few or whatever and, have a little jump-off point where they can be 3-2, maybe 4-2, whatever? I think that might just dictate their whole season right there because, after that, I don't know if they're going to be better than the Patriots, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, some of those teams there. So it's a favorable schedule, but I just don't think they're overly talented to necessarily win all the 50-50 games that they have on their schedule.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. This Bears team, I thought it was very telling yesterday when they picked up 6 guys on waivers. 6 guys who were cut by other teams
says a lot.
Were welcome to the Bears,
right.
Which means more than 10% of the guys who made their 53-man roster had to be removed from that roster after only one day to create space for 6 strangers to the organization that they pounced upon once other teams cut them. That is not a good sign for where the Bears roster currently is, and that reinforces my belief and agreement with you that they will be the fourth-place team. Now,
this is where it gets interesting.
Are you sufficiently smitten with Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions to make them higher than third place? Chris, who do you have at the 3 spot?
I'm going with it this year.
Oh, wow.
I'm going with it this year. There's just some things about the Vikings. I know their offense can be explosive and potent. I know that. I guess there's a part of me that goes, I'd like to see it to believe it. Again, Kevin O'Connell, defensive coordinator. These are first-time play callers for the Minnesota Vikings. These are guys that I believe in as far as their potential as we go forward, all right? But at the same time, I guess I want to see it first. I do. And Ed Donatel, I might be wrong. He might have called plays before.
No, he's done it before.
He has. Yeah. I was wrong about that.
Not very well, but
I was getting it confused with somebody else at first. But either way, yeah, I got to see it a little bit. It's a transition to a new scheme on the defensive side of the ball, all right? Kevin O'Connell, it is his first time really going to have to come up with the game plan and do it all and be that guy and then call the plays on Sunday. So that aspect of it. And then I think the other thing, Mike, that I just look at with the Vikings is, I don't think you're going to get off to a good start there in Minnesota. I could see 2-4 for sure. There's no doubt about that. And I don't know about the defense. I think the talent on the defense it's questionable to me. The linebackers are good. Harrison Smith is still solid. I'm not writing home about the corners or anything. Not right now. Danielle Hunter, what's the status of him? I know you got Zadarius Smith, but he missed all last year because of back and everything else. So I guess I have questions about that. So, yeah, I'm believing in the Lions a little bit more than the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stunning. I'm putting the Lions in third place. They got a lot to prove to me before they will ascend out of the lower reaches of the NFC North. There are some encouraging signs there, but I'm still not a Jared Goff believer, and I think Goff is going to keep them from making an assault on the top of the division, although I think they are moving in the right direction. The question is, will ownership give this current regime enough time to really get to where they're trying to be? They could be a very dangerous force for years to come, and there's going to be a vacuum at the top of the conference, not the conference, but the division when Aaron Rodgers finally does leave, unless the Packers have something more in Jordan Love than we've thought they've done so far. They've been talking him up a lot, but there's going to be an opportunity for the Lions whenever Aaron Rodgers is gone. For now, I'll put them in third. So I'm assuming you're putting the Lions in second.
I am putting the Lions in second. I just, again, I like what I see in Hard Knocks. The one thing I think about the Lions, I look at their offense and defensive line and go, there's no team in football that's just going to outclass them up front on either side of the ball. Their offensive line is one of the better ones in football. Their defensive line had size and physicality, and now they got a pass rusher who's a difference maker there. They need Jeff Okudah to come through on defensive back, number 3 pick, and be able to depend on him a little bit. But, yeah, I guess I'm just playing hunch a little. How close they were last year, how many games where they actually outplayed teams and then didn't win the football game. And then I think just the questions in Minnesota a little bit scare me. So I guess that's where I go. I'm going with Detroit. I do look at their schedule and go, weeks 2, 3, and 4 are crucial. There's games where Commanders, Vikings, Seahawks, where they're not going to be outclassed. Can they win those games? And can we get out to week 5 against the Patriots and beat 2-2? All right, then they go a tough stretch, but then you look at, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and again, I know we got to play these games, but I think we can all agree right now that the Jaguars, the Vikings, the Jets, the Panthers, the Bears, nobody's going Super Bowl potential there. There might be 1 or 2 teams where we go, there's some talent, and they got potential maybe to make the playoffs. So, again, I think I could see this division 2, 3, and 4, everybody being 7-10 or 6-11, right in that range. And I'm just going to go with the Lions, edging the other guys out and being the second-place team this year.
From time to time, someone will ask me if I have a bias or an agenda. And my bias and agenda at all times is to be right, especially when it comes to prognostication. I will pick against my boyhood rooting interests all the time.
You do.
I think it will allow me to be right. I say that because I'm putting the Packers at number 2.
Whoa.
Which by process of elimination means you're going to be blowing that horn all year long, baby.
Wow.
Because I think, very simple. The offense, the coaching staff offensively.
Yeah, it's potential.
Was substandard.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
In the past.
Right.
So think of how good they've been offensively with a head coach who completely ran the defense, ignored the offense, and was such a pain in the ass for the offensive coaches to deal with that the coordinators left every other year. They couldn't take Mike Zimmer. Sorry, Mike, I'm busy today. Wait till the weekend if you're going to call me or text me your disagreement with what I just said. But he was too big of a pain in the ass, and the offensive coordinators either quit or got fired or just had to get the hell out of there. Now you've got a guy who's the head coach who is the offensive coordinator. You're going to have stability. You're going to have creativity. You're going to have maximizing the talents of Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson and everyone else. Maybe you'll have some plays designed so Kirk Cousins gets rid of the football before the walls close in and he can't do anything. And then the defense, there's question marks. But you know what? Can't be much worse than it's been the past 2 years.
No, I hear you.
And you can line up excuse after excuse. I don't like that. Every team that fails to make the playoffs can give you a long list of excuses as to why they didn't. Well, this happened in week 2, and this happened in week 3, and this happened in week 4. Yeah, that's why you lost games. You lose games because stuff happens to you that you can't overcome. It happens to other teams, and they overcome it. So spare me that. I think the talent's there. And even though I was a Jim Harbaugh advocate, I'm not running away from it now. I thought they should have hired Jim Harbaugh. I'm choosing to think glass half full, and this is my objective assessment. I think they can win the division. You're making me do it today. I'm putting the Packers at 2. The Devontae Adams departure is not being regarded with nearly enough alarm, I think, as it should. We're hearing Aaron Rodgers talk about these young guys not stepping up. They're basically telling us they expect to struggle. I know you think the defense is going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings are going to win the division.
Wow. All right. That's I hear you.
And I'm saying that because I want to be right. I'm not trying to speak into existence. I want to be right.
I think you got purple haze in your brain or something there. That's what I think. Okay, but yeah, I hear
Maybe
you.
that's the strain I should get for my Crohn's.
Maybe you should. That would make sense. That would be cool. That would be cool. And then you could put on your big Minnesota light thing you got in the barn, and you just drift off into a life of imagination. But yeah, I just at the end of the day, I hear what you're saying. There's a little too many ifs and oohs and whats and ums with Minnesota. And again, Green Bay, the receiver thing is concerning, but it still is Aaron Rodgers and a damn good coach and Matt LaFleur, a pretty damn good running game. And, I do think the defense has a chance to be super dominant. So I don't think it's going to be as sexy as it's looked in Green Bay, that's for sure. But I'm certainly going to go with them as the number one team in the division. I don't think this is like a year, though, where they're 13-4. I don't. I think this is a year where they're the third or fourth place team in the NFC as far as that's concerned. I don't. I can feel like, it's hard to climb to that mountain every year. And like you said, with the receivers not being there and the defense, yeah, we see it, but there's some young guys that got to come through there too. So I think they win the division, but I don't think they're going to be like the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed when all said and done.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.